Hi friends, this is Mainak Misra and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be discussing with you about an Iranian film, The Wind Will Carry Us. But before discussing this film, let me repeat the same prayer that hope during this corona pandemic time, you and your family members are doing absolutely great. The Wind Will Carry Us is a poetic film by Abbas Kiarostami. A journalist named Behzad visits a Kurdish village in rural Iran with his crew to shoot the funeral rituals of a 100-year-old woman who is dying. But a couple of weeks after, he gets frustrated as the woman doesn't die and is about to leave the village. At that point of time, he sees that the woman has finally died and clicks a few photographs of the mourning women who are heading towards her house. But as a poetic filmmaker, a humanist, and an optimistic person, Abbas Kiarostami is not interested in death. The film shows the inevitability but also the unpredictability of death. This film deals with the ideas of life, death, afterlife, spirituality, natural beauty, and the preciousness of life. This film is also about portraying important characters in the film without showing them on screen. Now let me tell you about the story. A journalist named Behzad goes to a Kurdish village in rural Iran with his crew, 3 members crew, to shoot the funeral rituals of a 100-year-old dying woman. But when he goes there, he doesn't know the location of the village. So there is one person, one schoolboy, Farzad. He waits on the road and then gets into Behzad's car and guides him to the village. Farzad asks him, "Why have you come? What is the purpose?" Initially, Behzad tells him that, I have come here for treasure hunting. But later on, he reveals that they have come there to shoot the funeral rituals of a 100-year-old dying woman. Actually, that woman is Farzad's grandmother. So they reach the village and then there they get familiar with the village people. Even though Farzad has his ongoing exams, but he helps them in day-to-day activities. Even though they are getting familiar with the village people, Behzad, goes to a tea shop and one lady is running that tea shop. He gets surprised that a woman is running a tea shop all alone. So Behzad and his team get habituated with the village life. But then they get, little bit frustrated also that the woman is not dying. So they are not able to return to the city. Behzad receives regular calls from his supervisor, Mrs. Goradji. But there is very poor mobile network which forces Behzad to go to the hill nearby and receives the call. So he goes there multiple times, and there he meets Yusuf, who is digging a hole for a mobile tower. So he interacts with him, but we do not see Yusuf on screen. I will discuss this aspect of the film a little later. So Yusuf says that go to my house and have milk. So Behzad visits his house, recites a poem to his wife written by Farooq Farrokhzad, famous Iranian poet, and collect the milk. And slowly, he starts appreciating the village life. However, there is frustration that the old woman is not dying and they are not able to return to home. One day, when Yusuf is digging the hole, there is a landslide on the above portion of that hole, and that earthy portion falls into the hole, that soil, that piled up soil. So Behzad rushes to the village and informs the village people that Yusuf is in danger. The villagers rush to the spot and take Yusuf into Behzad's car, and then they head towards the hospital. Before that, Yusuf is treated by a doctor, local doctor, and he assures Behzad that Yusuf will survive. The condition is not critical. And after that, the doctor takes Behzad on his motorbike and drives through the rippling wheat fields. A beautiful scenery, when the two ride the bike through the wheat field. Amazing scenery. And the doctor tells Behzad that, earth is much better than heaven. There are so many natural wonders, the sun, moon, the stars. Those are not there in heaven. So heaven cannot be better than the earth. And the two return to the village, and when Behzad and his team are about to leave the village, they see a group of mourning women heading towards the old woman's house. So that means she has finally passed away. Behzad could only click few photographs of those mourning women. And when he returns, he throws away that bone which he collected from the hill, and the bone gets carried away with water in that canal. And that's how the film ends. Now let me tell you a little bit more about this film, this poetic film. This film deals with multiple philosophical aspects of life. As I told you before, even though Behzad and his team have come there to shoot the funeral rituals of that dying woman, but as an optimist, Kiarostami is not interested in filming the passing away of that old woman. So it is much more than that. He is interested into something else. He goes beyond death and seeks or investigates afterlife and spirituality. What happens when a person dies? It is better to appreciate life. Happiness should triumph over sadness, and we must celebrate life. So keeping aside the death of that woman, this film is mostly about afterlife, spirituality, and the celebration of life. This film is also about portraying important characters without showing them on screen. Viewers do not see the old woman who is the pivotal character in this film. We do not see the crew members apart from Behzad, but we can feel them. We do not see Yusuf who is digging the hole, but we can hear the conversation. We do not see the face of Yusuf's wife, but we could feel her emotions when Behzad recites the poem written by Farooqzad in front of her. So we do not see multiple characters, but we can feel them, and that's why this film is so great. This film shows how efficiently a filmmaker can weave a story without showing important characters. In real life also, we do not see many people, but we can feel the void when they pass away, when they are not with us. We can feel their presence as if they are still there with us. So that's why this film is much more than death. It is about spirituality. It is about afterlife. It is about how strong the person's presence be in our life. And in this film also, like his previous films, Kiarostami stands strongly against the miseries of women, and he supports the endeavors of women. He shows in the film that a woman has delivered a kid and the next day she is back to work. And in total she has 10 children. He shows through this film that a woman can run a tea shop all alone. So Kiarostami takes a strong position against the miseries of women, but he appreciates their endeavors, their efforts, their contribution to society. And I will discuss with you Another aspect of this film that I mentioned you before, that this film is overall a poetic film. In the poem, The Wind Will Carry Us, the film is of the same title, written by Farrokhzad, and the film is directed by Abbas Kiarostami. In that poem, Farrokhzad celebrated life, love, happiness through her poem. And in this film also, Kiarostami hails life and communion through this film. Farrokhzad wanted to get rid of despair and sought happiness via her soulmate. And in this film, Kiarostami goes beyond death and tries to seek afterlife and spirituality. Farrokhzad's poem is filled with natural beauties, and the same way this film is also filled with enormous natural beauties which surround the small rural village. So both way there are similarities between Farrokhzad's poem and Kiarostami's film. So that's why I'm saying that Kiarostami's film The Wind Will Carry Us is a poetic film, and it is a beautiful film. Mahmoud Kalari, the cinematographer, captured beautifully the magnificent rural Iranian beauty of that village. Amazing film direction by Abbas Kiarostami, I mentioned. All the actors were mostly non-professional, apart from Behzad Dorani. Everybody does brilliant job in this film. It was nominated in 1999 Venice Film Festival to compete for the Golden Lion and received widespread critical acclaim over time. I hope you have seen this film, and if you have not, then please see this film. Please support me, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon so that you do not miss regular updates. I keep making videos and inspire me so that I make more and more videos. But before ending, I want to little bit recite about the poem by Farrokhzad. The wind will carry us. In my night, so brief, alas, the wind is about to meet the leaves. My night, so brief, is filled with devastating anguish. Do you hear the whisper of the shadows? This happiness feels foreign to me. I am accustomed to despair. Do you hear the whisper of the shadows? There in the night, something is happening. The moon is red and anxious, and clinging to this roof that can fall at any moment. The clouds, like a crowd of mourning women, waits for the birth of the rain. Behind this window, the night trembles and the earth stops spinning. Behind this window, a stranger worries about you and me. You in your greeneries lay your hands, those burning memories, on my loving hands, and entrust your lips, replete with life's warmth, to the touch of my loving lips. The wind will carry us. The wind will carry us. Thank you.